And welcome back. It's nearly 6 months since the collapse of the 35W bridge, and while construction is underway to rebuild it, those who suffered injuries or the loss of a loved one are looking to lawmakers and legal experts to help them rebuild their lives. And here to tell us what's being done for these folks is Jim Schwebel, president of the Minneapolis law firm of Schwebel, Goetz, and Sieben. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Jim.
Thank you, Rob.
Pleasure to have you on. Corporate Report describes your law firm as a personal injury powerhouse. What an honor bestowed upon you.
Thank you. Well, we've been involved in personal injury litigation in Minnesota since 1974, and although most of the time we're involved in what you might say are fairly routine events like car crashes and motorcycle crashes, we've also been called upon when there's been some very large disasters affecting many Minnesotans, the MGM hotel fire, the Reno crash, and the Holodazzle event, things like that. So after this tragedy on August 1st, we felt that it wouldn't be long before we'd be contacted, and we were, and it's been pretty busy from August 1st up to the present, just trying to help out these folks.
Absolutely. Well, anyone that's been following the news the last 5 months have heard the many compelling stories of the shattered lives resulting from injuries and deaths from the 35W bridge collapse. And how did your law firm become involved in helping these people?
We were contacted within the first couple of days by several folks that had suffered injuries and some who had lost their loved ones. It really was an overwhelmingly devastating thing. If you think within 13 seconds it took that bridge to go down, there were 150 different stories. And there was a continuum of injuries. Some people received minor injuries, and there were other just very heart-wrenching cases with fractures and abdominal injuries and brain injuries. Some of these folks have gone through multiple surgeries. And of course, there's the 13 people that never made it home.
Right, right.
So we were brought in to be of assistance. Probably one of the first things we did that telegraphed to us the seriousness of it, we were asked to assist in transporting the body of a man that had been killed to his home in Mexico to see if we could get involved and make those arrangements. So we started meeting with the victims and talking about their injuries and seeing if they were getting the right medical care. And then since it was so overwhelming, there was a lot of concerns about what was going to be done for medical bills, and got involved in all those things that are necessary to assist them in their day-to-day needs.
Absolutely. What has Schwebel, Goetz, and Sieben taken on date on behalf of the victims now?
You know, the first thing that we got involved in was just meeting them and assessing how serious their injuries were and getting a feeling of what the impact was going to be on their life right away, this week, this month, before we looked at the long term. And one of the things that was important is to start to look into any financial sources that might be available. Some of these folks have got medical bills in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as somebody can appreciate how seriously they're hurt and what's wrong with them, their next concern is always their family. Who's going to make the mortgage payment? You know, where's the money going to come from? So one of the first things we do is get involved in looking at the auto insurance, the no-fault insurance, and then their health insurance. We worked with the Salvation Army, the American Red Cross, the Minneapolis Foundation, in order to bring these foundations in to be of assistance also. So the immediate financial needs were our priority target, to see that we could relieve some of the anxiety they were going to have over the impact on themselves and on their families.
Absolutely. Recently in the news, we're starting to see some contributing factors to the cause of the collapse of the bridge. And what has been done to determine the causes of the collapse, and what has been learned by your firm to date?
Well, this is a very interesting question, because this is a 40-year-old bridge which was part of the interstate highway system. This was supposed to have been built with the structural strength to even carry tanks across it if it had to.
Absolutely.
40 years later, it's in the river. Now, the NTSB took control of the entire site, and the NTSB started to investigate the causes of the crash. Also, within days of this, MnDOT hired a private engineering firm at a cost of $2 million to do its own investigation and to testify on behalf of MnDOT as an expert witness if that became necessary. What we did was we sought out some of the best structural engineers in the country because we wanted to get an impartial description of why that bridge went in the river. We put together a team that started examining hundreds of documents having to do with the history of the bridge. We compiled a library of thousands of photographs. They have gone through witness interviews. And we've made 2 unsuccessful attempts, I might say so far, to get the state's investigation materials. The state continues to conceal the results of its investigation that the public has paid $2 million for. We now have on appeal a request to allow our clients to have access to that material.
Very good. Very, very busy. We're out of time here. We've got to wrap it. Thank you so much. You're going to be very, very busy in the months ahead. Come back again.
Thank you. Enjoyed having a chance to be here.
You bet. Schwebel, Goetz, and Sieben is located at 5120 IDS Center in Minneapolis. For more information, call 612-377-7777 or log on to schwebel.com.